Hello everyone! Just in case you can't decide which language to study next, here are 10 good reasons to choose Russian. Number 1. It's popular. Well, maybe not as popular as English, Spanish or Chinese, but there are still 160 million people who speak Russian all over the world. And it's not only Russia. Many people in post-Soviet republics still know it. Especially the older generations. And for millions of people, it's still their first language. But that's not all. Many people from post-socialist countries, like Bulgaria, Poland or Romania, can at least understand it. There are big Russian populations in Germany and United States. And in Israel, there is just a huge Russian community. Yes, the popularity of Russian is definitely a good reason to learn it.
Добрый день! Вы говорите по-русски, и я тоже немножко.
Number 2. It's interesting. Russian history is very deep. And besides the Romanovs that the most people know, it includes medieval, modern age and the Soviet periods that are pretty exciting as well. Moreover, Russian culture includes Orthodoxy, very interesting and very beautiful religious culture, whose origins are in mysterious Byzantium. Russian architecture is also very special and doesn't look like anything you get used to see. And if that's not enough, Russia is multicultural and multinational country, which has about 200 nations, with different traditions and languages. So by choosing Russian, you get into an exciting journey, full of excellent adventures.
Я, когда была маленькая, я играла с моим братом и его друзьями. И все были мальчики, и дети не сидели дома, не смотрели телевизор. Мы гуляли, знаешь, играли с другими детьми. Так что это все, что я делала.
Number 3. Literature. Talking about culture, Russian classic literature is famous all over the world. You can say that the best books are already translated, and you don't have to study Russian to read Tolstoy, Chekhov or Dostoevsky. You are right, but besides the prose, there is beautiful poetry. Of course, you can find Pushkin, Yesenin or Lermontov in English, but it would be just a pale shadow of the original poems. In other words, you will never feel the beauty of Russian poetry in translation.
Очень важно сказать, что, как вы знаете, мы остаемся привержены сохранению нашей национальной независимости, свободы и военной нейтральности.
Number 4. Making new friends. As I already said, Russian is very popular, and sometimes you can meet a person who doesn't speak English as good as you do. In this case, Russian can be the third language you guys may use. For a long time, Russia was a closed country, so for many people it was like another planet. All they knew were just a very few facts and lots of rumors. Even now the situation has not changed much, so finding friends in Russia, you will find out how things really are and discover an entire new world, very different but very interesting.
Жанна, присяжный коммерсант. First of all, thank you so much.
Что такое?
Wow.
I
What else do you know in
know,
Russian?
I know. Что такое? Почему ничего? Иди сюда, я тебя люблю, хорошо.
Oh, wow.
I have a lot of Russian friends.
Number 5. It's good for your brain. Studying any new language retrains your brain and creates new pathways in the mind, but especially when it's a language with a different alphabet. Just look at those letters. Who can even read them? Well, you could.
Oh my goodness, is that?
In Russian.
That's in Russian. Okay, you speak Russian.
But I don't read it.
You idiot!
Number 6. The movies. If you feel tired from endlessly repeating Hollywood scripts, you may discover the whole new universe of the Russian cinema. Russian cinematography can offer you hundreds of films from different eras and genres. And many of them are available for free. Having English subtitles, they can be very helpful in learning Russian. Oh, and don't forget about the amazing cartoons.
Добрый вечер, дамы и господа. Я очень рад быть здесь сегодня с коллегами Дэвид Батиста. Я чуть-чуть боюсь вас, Дэвид. И прекрасная Наоми Харрис.
Number 7. Russian girls. Dating a foreigner can be a new and exciting experience. So if you are single and feel like dating a Russian girl or boy, you should definitely consider learning Russian. Number 8. It's challenging. Russian is one of the languages that has wow effect. For example, if you tell your friends you study some ordinary language, they would be like, yeah, okay. But if you say you study Russian, they would definitely say, oh wow.
I understand that you speak Russian. Is that true?
Yes.
All right, it's not an accusation. I'm just.
Okay.
I was hoping you could say a few things in Russian for me and teach me how to say a few things. Would you do that?
I would. Нет, я не дам вам свой пароль Wi-Fi.
I can't even begin to pronounce that. What does that mean?
No, I will not give you my Wi-Fi password.
Number 9. Traveling. Russia is very interesting for traveling and just as underrated. Here you can find whatever you only want. Tasty cuisine, European atmosphere in St. Petersburg, Kremlin and modern skyscrapers in Moscow, early medieval monasteries in Novgorod, and warm resorts in Sochi. It also has beautiful nature. Blue forest lakes in Karelia, breathtaking landscapes in Ural, and oriental romance of Altai. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Every single town has dozens of museums, famous sites, and notable places. You can spend years in Russia just visiting different cities and places.
You did something I've always wanted to do. I've never been to Russia, and I've always wanted to go to Russia. It's one of my dreams to go to Russia and check it out because it just seems like such a fascinating place, and I've read about a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then I find out that you spent a semester in Russia.
Yeah, it was where I did my abroad study there.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was go to Russia because of being like a theater geek and loving Chekhov.
Sure, yeah. It
If
seems like,
anyone knows or cares.
Yeah, I know. They think you're talking about the guy from Star Trek.
Number 10. Find job in Russia. We live in the global world, and if you feel bored or unwanted in your home country, you may find your new home in Russia. And we are talking not only about construction workers. The market economy is still new here, and there are entire areas of business which just don't exist and free from any competition. But to make business in Russia, you definitely need to speak Russian, at least to figure out who should you pay the bribe to solve all your issues. I'm joking. Or maybe not. We just discussed 10 good reasons to study Russian. If I managed to convince you, subscribe to my channel. And if not, subscribe it anyway, because besides the language lessons, There will be posts about history, art, culture, politics, movies and many other interesting things. And you don't even have to learn the language to watch them, because they will be in English. And that's all for today. It was very nice seeing you all. Пока-пока.